My name is George and this is another Vinyasa yoga class from Back to Basics Living. You've heard the statement before, no pain, no gain. That doesn't apply here. If you feel pain at any point, that's a sign to pull back or ease off. We will feel sensations or discomfort, but at no point should you feel any pain. I'm going to start seated, cross-legged or however is comfortable. You'll notice that I'm sitting up on a blue block. If you don't have a blue block or a red block or a pink block or whatever, you can sit up on a book or a small stool or whatever feels good. Let's close our eyes for a moment. Hands wherever feels comfortable. That can be joined together or resting on your thighs. Take your shoulders back, shoulder blades reaching towards each other. Relax the shoulders. And reach up through the crown of the head. And without doing anything, without changing your breath, just notice your breath. Just notice the inhale and the exhale. Maybe place your hand on your belly as you notice your belly rise and fall as you breathe in and out. And scan through your body here and notice where you feel tension. From the top down, starting at the crown of the head, working through the forehead, around the eyes and into the jaw and neck. Work down through the shoulders, seeing if you can relax a little bit more in each of these places. Down through the spine to the pelvis and belly. Into your arms, forearms. Relax your fingers, your thighs, your shins and your feet. And from here, start to deepen and lengthen the inhale, followed by a longer exhale through the nose. As you breathe in, reaching tall through the crown of the head. And as you breathe out, relaxing those areas where the tension may have crept back in. Shoulders back and relaxed. Draw your ears back a bit too. And make your breath a little bit audible if it feels okay. So you should be able to hear your breath. Start with a little bit of movement. So release your hands, take your fingertips down by your sides. Find that tall seat again. So our inhale is going to be strong and deep here. Deep, deep breath as you breathe in. Reach your arms wide and high at the top of your breath, meeting overhead. As you exhale, draw your hands down with strength, active arms towards your heart. Down by your sides. 2 more times like that. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, draw down. 1 more. The eyes are closed, you can flicker them open. If you have 2 blocks, keep them close by at the top of your mat. From here we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Spine is neutral. Toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever is more comfortable. And try and round through the upper back a little bit here. Really push through the hands. And we'll start to move with the breath. So on your inhale, drop the belly and look up. Exhale, as you tuck your chin and tailbone, arch the back and draw your belly in. Exhale, reverse, dropping the belly, look up. Cat-cow. And keep working through that. Exhale, arch the back, tuck the chin. Inhale, drop the belly and look up. Nice and slow with your own breath. If you want to bring some other movements, looking over the left or right shoulder or moving the hips in different directions, go for it. Finding stillness. From here, really push into the forefingers. Really push into the knuckles of each hand. You're gluing your knuckles to the floor. Toes are tucked. Lift your knees about an inch off the ground. And from here, float your hips up and back for your first downward facing dog. Keep breathing here in down dog. Hips are encouraged up and back. Maybe you start walking out the legs a bit, bending one knee and straightening the other. And keep the breath. We're going to stay here for 3 or 4 breaths. Really gluing your knuckles to the floor. And triceps facing out slightly here. Encouraging your hips up and back. And your heels don't need to touch the floor. Notice my heels are up here. Your heels don't need to touch the floor. That's not the goal. From here, ripple forward. So really arch, dome through the upper back. Nice and slow, come forward. Shoulders over wrists. Might need to adjust the feet a bit to a plank. And breathe. You really want to dome the upper back here in plank. Draw the heels of the hands back towards your toes. You're not moving your hands, it's just an action of drawing the wrists back. And back to down dog, float the hips up and back. One more time, doming through the upper back as you ripple forward. Holding your plank. Pushing back through the heels, lengthen through the crown of the head. And draw everything into the belly. And from here, tip your heels 2 inches forward. Nice and slow, lower all the way to the belly. Keeping your elbows fairly tight to the ribs. As you're coming down, if you feel that your hips are sagging as you come down, that's a sign you want to drop your knees. From here, take the tops of the feet to the ground. Activate the legs so the knees lift, so your legs are nice and strong. You want to adjust the hands so they're under the shoulders. Inhale, draw the chest forward and up. Low cobra. And breathe. Next exhale, back down. 2 more times. Inhale, forward and up. And exhale, back down. Inhale, forward and up. And exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, push back through tabletop. Float the hips up and back for down dog. And from here, take nice small steps towards the top of your mat. And pause in a forward fold. So your knees are bent in a forward fold. Head and arms are heavy. Chest towards your thighs here. And get strong, active feet. So really push into all corners of the feet. Maybe push into your heels a little more here. You'll feel a stretch in the back of your legs.
and breathe. Maybe let the head and arms sway from side to side. Inhale, straighten the legs and look up. We're coming up about halfway here. So our torso's sort of parallel to the ground. Hands to shins or knees. Hold the position but keep breathing. 2 more breaths. Really, as you breathe in, really find length in the spine and reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, bend the knees back to forward fold. And before you come up to stand, think about how slow you're going to get there. So nice and slow, you can take a few breaths. We're going to unravel. Head and arms are still heavy, they're going to come up last. Ragdoll up. And keep breathing as you move. Shoulders back as you come to stand. Mountain pose. So mountain's one of our base poses here, so we want to establish a strong mountain. So raise your toes and spread them. And drop your toes from the outside in, so your toes are spread. You can almost claw the ground a little bit with your feet. Fire up the legs here so your legs are strong. Now from here, take your first 2 fingers and find the points of your hips. And from here, dig your fingers into that little crease on the inside of your hips. And now clench your muscles right there so you feel the muscles you're pushing against expand. And that there is your core engaged, so breathe through that. And try and hold that as you relax the rest of the body. Shoulders back, face relaxed. I'm going to work through a few sun salutations to start. Inhale your arms wide and high or straight up, depending on how much space you have. Exhale, bow to a forward fold, leading with the chest. Knees bent, head and arms heavy. Inhale to a halfway lift like we did already. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to a plank position. So strong hands here in plank. Again, gluing the knuckles to the ground like we did in down dog. Reaching forward through the crown of the head and dome up through the upper back. Don't sag, don't let that space between your shoulder blades sag. Drawing everything into the belly. Inhale, tip forward. Exhale, lower all the way down. Watch the lower back here in the hips. Tops of the feet to the ground, energize the legs, lift the knees. Inhale, forward and up, shoulder blades towards each other. Open through the chest. Exhale, back down. Tuck the toes, push back through tabletop or child's pose. And float the hips up and back for down dog. Deep inhale, come high in the toes. Exhale, bend your knees and look forward. And either walk, step, or float to a forward fold top of the mat, knees bent. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, back down. Deep, deep breath, arms wide and high, reach. Exhale, draw the arms down. Through heart center, back to mountain. We're going to change it up a little this time, offering a halfway lift, offering chaturanga, offering half plank, instead of lowering all the way to the belly. So in half plank, as we lower down, if you imagine me that I'm on the ground here, as we lower down, we take our elbows to about 90 degrees and really broaden through the chest here, and we hold here, and from here we move into upward facing dog. Either option works. I'll talk you through it as I demonstrate. Inhale the arms wide and high. Exhale the forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, plant the hands. step back to plank. Your choice here, whether you want to lower all the way to the belly and take a cobra like we've been doing, or tip forward and lower halfway. Elbows at 90 degrees and hold. From here, take the tops of the feet to the ground, straighten the arms, reach your chest forward and look up. Notice my knees are lifted, upward facing dog, strong legs. Up the knees, tuck the toes, back to down dog. Inhale high in your toes, exhale, bend your knees and look forward. Step to a forward fold, top of the mat. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, back down. Inhale, the arms wide and high, reach all the way to standing. Exhale, the hands down through heart center. Active arms as you draw down. Hands down by your sides. I'm going to add on a couple more variations here. Establish your strong stance here. Strong feet, strong legs. Draw the belly button in and up. Strong belly. Inhale, the arms wide and high. This time bend your knees and lower your seat for chair pose. You can take your arms to heart center or keep your arms extended overhead. Find a breath here in chair as you distribute the weight evenly through your feet. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bow forward. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, plank. Establish a strong plank here. And your choice of flow, lower halfway or all the way down, followed by upward facing dog or cobra. Back to down dog. Inhale, take your right foot high to the sky, reach your right heel out behind. Exhale, step forward. Right foot between your hands, drop your back knee and take your blocks. Maybe walk that foot a little bit forward. Your back knee is behind your back hip or your left hip here. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bow forward. Dome your upper back, draw your chest towards your thigh, and draw your hips back so your hip is over your back knee. Inhale, coming forward, look up, proud chest, rock forward. Exhale, back as you bow forward. 2 more times, inhale, look up. Exhale, hips over the back knee as you bow forward. Inhale, coming forward, chest up. Exhale, bow the head, chin to chest, straighten the front leg. And hold here for a moment. Inhale, coming forward. Release the blocks. Plant the hands. Step back to plank and flow through. And what I mean by flow through is lower down, take your back bend and back to down dog. So lower down, half or all the way. Take your back bend, upward facing dog or cobra. And back to downward facing dog. Work through that on the other side. Inhale your left foot high to the sky, reaching back through your left heel. Exhale, coming forward, drawing your knee towards your chest. Step between your feet. Drop the back knee and take the blocks. And maybe you walk that front foot forward a little, making sure your back knee is behind your back hip. Inhale, look up, proud chest. Exhale, rock back, straightening your front leg as you draw your chin to chest. Maybe walk the blocks back a bit. Hip over the back knee here. Inhale, coming forward, look up.
and exhale back.
2 more times. Inhale, coming forward, bend into the front knee, look up, proud chest.
Exhale, bow the chin to chest.
Hips over the back knee, straighten the front leg. Inhale, coming forward.
And exhale back.
And hold here, breathing into that front leg. Nice, slow, deep, even breath here. And come forward one more time.
Release the blocks.
Step back to plank. Your choice again, how you want to flow through. Tip forward, lower half, or all the way down. Tops of the feet to the ground.
Upward facing dog or cobra.
And back to down dog. Inhale, high in your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Walk or step to a forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back down. Inhale, take your arms wide and high. Come all the way to stand. Exhale to empty as you draw your hands with strength down to heart center and down by your sides. Maybe take a bit of movement here if you want to roll out the wrists or move the head from side to side. Adding on here. Inhale the arms wide and high. Exhale, sit into your chair. Knees bent, lower your seat. Arms can be extended or at heart center. If your arms are extended, really keep the fingers active here. Draw the belly in and up and find length in the side here. Sending the breath into the side ribs, maybe sink a little lower. It also helps to lift your toes here. It helps you distribute the weight evenly between your feet. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your right foot back. We're going to come to high lunge here. So our back knee is off the ground, our back heel is off the ground, and our back knee is off the ground. Inhale, take your arms to the sky. Just take your hands to your hips for a moment. Your hips are square here. Really push up through the back heel, so your back heel is really lifted. Arms to the sky and breathe. And feel like you're drawing your front heel back, back toes forward towards each other to create this scissoring motion with your feet that really activate the legs here. And breathe. Really reach through the fingertips, relax the face and shoulders. And from here, step forward, right thigh parallel to the ground. Nice, slow, deep, even breath. Take your hands to heart center or wherever they need to be from balance. If you're near a wall, you can take your hands to the wall too. We're going to work our way towards warrior 3. So from here, bow forward as you reach your back heel out behind. Bringing your torso more or less parallel to the ground. Push back through your back heel. Standing leg is strong and straight. Torso, back leg are sort of parallel to the ground. Really push through the back heel. Square your hips, drop your right hip a little so your hips are square here. And breathe. Nice, slow, deep, even breath. Hands wherever you want for balance. And from here, take your hands either to blocks or to the ground as you keep your back foot extended. Take your forehead towards your left thigh. Standing L-shaped. Option, if you want to take your left hand behind your left ankle, right hand behind your left ankle, and balance as you push back through the back heel. Keep the breath nice, slow, deep and even. Release your hands, plant your back foot, come back up to high lunge. Inhale, reach. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your left foot back to plank. Let's establish a strong plank here again. So your knuckles are glued to the floor here. Dome through the upper back and draw everything into the belly. From here, coming down onto our forearms for forearm plank. Option to drop the knees at any time here in plank. Option to lift your option to lift your right toes about an inch off the ground. And back down. Left toe. And back down. Right toe. Back down. Left toe. Back down. From here, I'm going to come into a side plank. So right hand to the ground. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. You can take your left hand to your hip or reach it overhead. And from here, we're going to dip a right hip and lift for 1, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to forearm plank. Plant your hands. Option to flow through a vinyasa or take child's pose. Meeting in downward facing dog or child's pose. Inhale, take your right foot high to the sky. Rock forward so your shoulders are over your elbows and draw your knee towards your nose. And hold, really lifting through the right shin. And back up. 2 more times, knee towards your nose, tight to chest. Coming forward, shoulders over wrists. And back up. Once more, just like that. And back up. Step forward, knee towards your nose, nice and slow and light. Plant your front foot between your hands. Drop your back heel so your back foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. Inhale your left hand high to the sky, warrior 2. So notice my back toe is slightly turned in. It's more or less parallel to the back edge of the mat, but slightly turned in. And from here, bend into your front knee. You'll really fire up this front thigh by getting this thigh as parallel to the ground as possible. The further you bend, the more strength in this leg. Sending your hips forward and down, arms parallel to the ground. Watch if this front knee doesn't collapse in. Encourage your front knee open. Really push into the front toe mound and the back edge of the back foot. Keeping that bend in your front knee, we're going to reverse our warrior. Flip your front palm. Back hand to the back thigh. Reach the front hand towards the sky, keeping the bend in the front knee as you look up. Back to warrior 2. Side angle pose. Take your front forearm, rest it on your front thigh. And from here, your top arm can stay in your hip, or you can encourage your shoulder and arm towards the sky. Avoid dumping all the weight into your front forearm here. You're just gently resting your forearm and encouraging it to open your thigh here. Back to warrior 2. We're going to flow through those 2 movements. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale to warrior, side angle. Also, you can take your front arm, tricep over your ear, palm facing down. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle. One more time, inhale. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, back to warrior two. And with strength, our knees still bent here. With strength, really push into the front toe mount to straighten that knee. I'm going to reach your front fingertips forward, back hip back. When you reach your limit, take your hand down. Triangle pose. You don't need to touch the ground here. From here, encourage your chest open as you reach your top hand towards the sky. Gaze can look down. Imagine like there's a wall directly behind you and you're touching it. And back to warrior two. For our next transition, I'm just going to step back a little bit because I don't have that much space. I'm going to step my front foot back. You may need a block here, so create a shorter stance between your 2 feet. And from here, almost like we're setting up for triangle again, place that block in front of you. Come up on your back toes. The block is only for balance here to bring the floor a little bit closer. As you raise your back foot parallel to the ground, back leg parallel to the ground, open your left hip and left shoulder to the side. Reach for the sky, half moon pose. And maybe, if the balance is there, slowly turn your gaze towards the side. Back foot back to the ground, back to warrior two. You want to widen your stance a bit. Windmill the arms to the ground. Move the block. Either take downward facing dog or child's pose. If you're taking down dog, option to flow through vinyasa here, coming forward. Plank, lower half or all the way down. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. And all coming back to child's pose here. So a bit of space between our knees, toes together, chest and forward towards the ground. Come back to down dog. Float your hips up and back. And from here, make your way to a forward fold. Top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back down. Arms wide and high, reach. Exhale, draw your hands down through heart center. Down by your side. So establish a strong mountain, claw the mat a little with your feet, strong belly here. Fire up the legs, take your shoulders back, draw your ears back a little. A slight tuck to the tailbone here also. Inhale your arms wide and high. Exhale, bend your knees, sit into your chair. Lift your toes here in chair. Really reach through the fingertips. Sink a little lower and breathe. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bow forward. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back. Inhale the arms wide and high. And come high on the back heel for high lunge. Keep the breath. Relax the shoulders. Again, you have a slight tuck to the tailbone here, and also a slight tuck to the lower ribs. Remembering that scissoring motion with the feet, drawing your front heel back, back toes forward. Step forward, left thigh parallel to the ground. Again, hands wherever you want for balance. Bow forward as you send your lifted heel, your left heel back. Torso more or less parallel to the ground. Strong standing leg. Pushing back through the back heel rather than the toes. And from here, drop your left hip a little so your hips are square. Really pushing through the back heel. Again, the wall may come in handy for balance. Keep the breath. Palms to the ground. Keep that leg extended as you draw your knees toward your nose towards your thighs. Standing L shape. Again, option to take your right hand behind your right ankle, followed by your left. Plant your hands, plant your back foot, come back to high lunge. Inhale, reach. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. From your plank, coming down onto your forearms for forearm plank. Option to stay here or option to lift your left toe 1 inch off the ground. And back down, right toe. And back down, left toe. Back down, right toe. Back down. Release your right hand, left palm to the ground. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Right shoulder and hand to the sky. Option to take your right hand to your right hip and pulse. Hip down and up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to forearm plank. Back to high plank. Option to flow through or come to child's pose. Inhale, take your right foot high to the sky. Whoops. Inhale, take your right foot high to the sky. Exhale, take your knee in towards your chest, shoulders over elbows. Really lift through the left shin. Exhale, back up. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, back up. One more time, inhale, knee to nose, shoulders over elbows, shoulders over wrists, and back up. Step forward, left foot between your hands, back heel to the ground, setting up for warrior two. Front thigh more or less parallel to the ground. Mine probably isn't, but the closer you bring it parallel, the more this leg will fire up. Your front heel intersects the middle arch of your back foot, the middle of the arch. Push strong into the back edge, push strong into the front toe, bend into the front knee, and breathe. Keeping the legs as is, flip your front palm up, take your back hand to your back thigh and reach for the sky as you look up. Reverse warrior. Back to warrior two. Left forearm to your left thigh as you take your right hand to the sky. Reach, right shoulder reaching back, and try not to dump all the weight into this left forearm. Keep it light. Option to take your right tricep over your right ear with your right palm facing down. Back to warrior two. And we're going to flow through those movements. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Keeping the legs as is, the legs are not moving. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse. Last time. Exhale, side angle. Back to warrior two. Our front knee is still bent. We're going to push strong into our front toe mound and slowly straighten that front knee. As we lean forward, back hip back, front fingertips forward. At your limit, your hand comes down. Remember, the goal is not to reach the floor. Take your top shoulder back. Maybe even wrap your ribs back a little. Reach for the sky. Triangle pose. Back to warrior two. Again, step. Close the gap between your feet. I have more room this side, so I'm going to step my back foot forward a little. Straighten your front legs. Maybe you want the block in your hand here. Come up on your back toes as you lean forward. You're going to keep your top hip and top shoulder open here. Lean all the weight into your front foot as your back foot becomes light. Front hand towards the ground. Doesn't need to touch. Back leg more or less parallel to the ground, foot active. Open your top arm towards the sky. Top shoulder is open. Doesn't matter if you fall out. And maybe your gaze turns towards the side. Half moon. Back to warrior two. Remember, it's not how you look in a pose, it's how you feel. So if you feel pain, come back out. If you feel sensation, then you're doing it. Windmill your hands to the ground. Child's pose or down dog. If you're taking down dog, option to flow through a last vinyasa here. Inhale forward to plank. Meeting in child's pose. It may feel nice in your child's pose to take your elbows to the ground, take your hands to prayer, reach your thumbs back behind your neck, and walk your elbows forward a little to bring a nice stretch into the triceps. Take your palms back to the ground. Nice and slow roll up to sit on your knees. Now sitting like this may be very uncomfortable on your knees or your thighs, so I take a block. Shoulders back, ears back. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, let your arms float down to shoulder height, palms facing up, shoulders back, proud chest. Look up, keeping the eyes closed. Draw a smile into your face. If you don't feel like smiling, fake it. See how it makes you feel. Really get that smile into the eyes here. Hands back to heart center. Down by your sides. From here, coming onto our backs. We're going to take bridge pose here. So two options. We're going to take our feet directly under our knees, about hip distance apart. Option number one is restorative back bend. So take your block, lift your hips and place your block under your tailbone. And let gravity do the work here. Option number two
Take your block on its medium setting, place it between your thighs. And you're just holding it here, you don't need to squeeze it, just hold it in place. And from here, push in strong into your feet, palms of the hands, forearms and triceps. Push your back of the head into the ground. As you press down, lift your hips. Just a gentle squeeze of the block here. The only reason for the block is to keep your knees from splaying out. Chest towards your chin and breathe. Draw your heels back towards you and encourage your knees away. That'll help activate the hamstrings here. Maybe if the space is there, you tuck your shoulders underneath a little and interlace the fingers. And breathe. Three more breaths. Release the fingers, release the shoulders and slowly lower back now. Release the block. Take the soles of your feet together and let your knees float wide. If it feels nice, you can support your thighs underneath here with a block. Take one hand to your chest and one hand to your belly. Draw your knees back together. Now from here, push into the ground and shift your hips a little to the right, just an inch. Draw your knees into your chest. And let your knees float to the left. Your arms can be cactus or extended to a T. And if you feel that your right shoulder is floating in space, sometimes it helps to place a block between your thighs or under your left thigh. Maybe your gaze comes to the right. Three more breaths here. Take your gaze back to center. Before you move anything else, draw your belly in and up, a bit of strength in the belly. Draw your knees back in. Give yourself a little squeeze. Plant your feet. Prepare for the other side. Shift your hips an inch to the other side. Draw your knees in. Again, arms wide open, arms cactus. Let your knees float to the right. You can take your gaze to the left. Three more breaths here. Take your gaze back to center. Engage the belly. Take your knees back in. Give yourself a squeeze. Make circles with the knees. Big or small, or rock back and forth. Maybe take happy baby here, reaching your arms inside your knees to grab the outside edges of your feet. Soles of the feet parallel to the ceiling. Maybe rock from side to side. And from here, remove any blocks or props that are around you. Extend your legs, arms down by your sides. Recommend about 10 minutes here. Letting everything get heavy. Sinking into the back body here. And let go of any effort with the breath now. Just breathe as it comes. And if the thoughts start to come or invade your private space, just put them to one side. They'll be there after. Namaste.